Hi, I'm Bethany Wallace, Content Manager for College Recruiter. At College Recruiter, we believe every student and recent graduate deserves a great career. We create a quality candidate and recruiter experience. Our interactive media solutions connect students and grads to great careers. I'm here today with Steven Rothberg, President and Founder of College Recruiter, and Peter Weddle, CEO of TATech, the Association for Talent Acquisition Solutions. College Recruiter's President Steven Rothberg has been a longtime volunteer with the TATech organization, and College Recruiter's CEO Faith Rothberg served on TATech's Board of Governors for 2 years. So we're especially glad to have Peter Weddle, the CEO of TATech, join us today. Peter, let's start with you. What would you like to share about TATech?
Well, Bethany, thanks for having me here today. TATech is the trade association for the global community of both for-profit and non-for-profit organizations that provide talent acquisition products and services to employers and recruiters. So it includes job boards, association career centers, mobile app developers, applicant tracking system companies. It includes cloud-based solution providers, recruitment advertising agencies, aggregators, the whole panoply of organizations that design, develop, deliver, and support products and services for employers and recruiters. Collectively, our membership powers or operates over 60,000 sites worldwide, and it provides literally hundreds of different solutions to help employers with every facet of talent acquisition.
Okay. And I hear that TATech is hosting a conference for employers and recruiters this fall. Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, the conference is coming up on September 19 to 21 in Las Vegas. We're going to take over the entire convention center at the Palms Resort and Casino. And this conference has a very unique focus. It's going to be laser focused on talent acquisition, but to make sure that we provide the necessary crosstalk and information sharing to ensure that employers and recruiters maximize the return on their investment in that technology. You know, I was talking to the members of one of our association members' advisory boards the other day. These were 12 vice presidents of talent acquisition from Fortune 1000 companies. And I asked them 3 questions. The first was, how many of you answer the phone when the vendors that you're currently working with or vendors that you aren't working with but have a new product or service they'd like to share with you, how many of you answer the phone when those folks call? And not a single hand went up. Then I asked them, well, how many of you think that you should answer the phone, that you need to know the latest information from the vendors that you're working with, and you need to know what's also out there that you might be able to leverage in terms of recruiting technology for your talent acquisition challenge? And every hand went up. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a conference that all in one place, all at one time, and a 2.5-day conference will enable those employers and recruiters to get the kind of information they need, both from the vendors they're working with, as well as vendors that might have a more capable or a more useful product and service, get information about those products and services so they can put them to work for their organization. So it's a unique conference in the sense that it's all about trying to help these two groups get together and provide the greatest return on investment for those employers.
Sounds great. Steven, I think you'll be speaking at the TATech Conference and Expo. What is your presentation all about?
Yeah, I'm going to be delivering a presentation about how employers can basically make better use of their money, get a better return on investment from whether they're working with a job board or some other talent acquisition solution provider. You know, one thing that a lot of employers have done forever is kind of like the post and pray, advertise their job openings, whether it's in a newspaper or billboard or digital media like a College Recruiter solution, and they assume the risk of those ads either performing terribly or incredibly well. And I think that one of the things that we've seen in our business in College Recruiter is that more and more of our employer clients, and it sounds like it's probably a fairly similar group to what Peter, you were talking to the other day, that they are increasingly becoming aware that that the employer does not need to assume the risk of the media working well or not, and that they can do a better job of negotiating their spending. So, if we're working with an employer that just really wants to minimize the amount of time that they take and just pay a flat fee or whatever, great. It's kind of the older style. Just write us a check, post your ads, or use one of our non-job board products like banner advertising or emails or whatever, and that's fine. We absolutely believe that we're providing good value. But more and more employers are being smarter about asking for estimates. How many people, we run this ad with you, how many people are going to see the ad? What would be your best guess for how many people are going to click the apply button? How many of those are going to come to the employer's ATS or their career site to apply if that's the path they follow? Or actually, are you one of the media that forces the candidate to use the media's application page so that the media can get more registrations? If they go over to our website, how many of those do you think will apply? How many of those do you think we're going to hire? What's our cost per hire? It's amazing how few of our clients, as recently as a year or two ago, even looked at what their likely cost per hire was from one source versus another. And really, at the end of the day, it's not about how much you pay for a job posting ad. It's about how much it costs you to hire that person, and then how productive that person is going to be. If you hire somebody for very little money, but they leave you after 3 months, that's not doing you any favors. You're much better off hiring somebody that might cost you a little bit more. They're a much better fit for you, but they're going to stay with you for a lot longer. So I'm going to be talking about some ways that talent acquisition leaders can question their media partners, whether it's us or an Indeed or a LinkedIn or some healthcare niche site, whatever, and really try to understand not what the cost is so much, but what their return on investment should be. How many people should they hire if they spend $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000? And then what should be the output? How long should those people be with you if the media knows that at all?
Okay, and I noticed like the title of your presentation is Doing Better Deals. Why exactly did you pick that topic, and why do you think that that's important for employers and recruiters?
Yeah, well, that's step number 2. So if the employer, the recruiter, the VP of talent acquisition, or let's say they're talking with one of our salespeople, and we put together a proposal, and it shows that employer, and it's going to make up a number, that it costs that employer half to hire somebody through College Recruiter as it does through on-campus recruiting, then that's a better deal right away. But that employer might also have a proposal from another media partner. It might be a LinkedIn or a Monster or an Indeed. And those other media partners might be able to show that employer that actually that we're twice as expensive as that other media partner. Well, we want that employer to come to us and to be able to say, look, this is what we have been paying, say through on-campus recruiting. This is what College Recruiter is saying that they would charge us effectively per hire or per applicant or whatever metric that employer uses. And there's this other vendor over here, and that's how much they're going to charge. So negotiate with us. If we can understand how you're going to be evaluating your purchase, then we can probably do a better job of putting together a package for you that'll work. For example, we had an employer last week that was asking us for pricing, and it was based upon a very, very small number of hires. So our cost per hire was higher. We didn't have economies of scale. But when they were able to look at a larger budget, we can then tap into some solutions that really only make sense once they're looking to hire at least 10 people, preferably dozens. That drops their cost per hire enormously, and we can get a lot more aggressive with our pricing if that employer is willing to share it. But when they just come to you and they say what they want 10 job postings, you have no idea whether they're looking to hire 10 people or 1,000 people from those. And so then they're kind of locked into some pricing that's quite arbitrary. Peter, I remember years ago, one of the very first conferences I went to, there was sort of a roundtable discussion, or you had like 3 of the early people from the job board industry. If I remember correctly, one of them was from Career Mosaic, and was talking about where does the price of job postings, where did that come from? Kind of like the $300 price for a job posting. And basically it was like that was the commission of the ad agency if they placed an ad in the New York Times or something like that. It's really quite arbitrary what we as an industry have charged. But I think more employers are starting to get the fact that they don't have to be locked into that somewhat arbitrary pricing model.
Okay, and Peter, is there anything that you'd like to add or share about the TATech Conference and Expo this fall?
Well, as Steven has just demonstrated, this is going to be a conference with three really strong benefits. The first of which is real conversations. The people who come to this conference will have a chance to interact with folks like Steven, like Faith Rothberg, people who actually run the companies that provide products and services to these employers in an intimate setting where they can exchange information and make sure that the understanding that's necessary to really maximizing that return on investment is actually achieved. But there are two other really important benefits that I'd like to mention. One is real savings. If a company registers to attend this conference by the early cutoff date of June 15th, will actually pick up the cost of their hotel rooms. So they'll be able to come into Las Vegas, have their hotel rooms covered for free, and in addition, we've also lowered the registration rate significantly below any other major recruitment conference out there during the year. So it's a real opportunity to get the information you need while saving some money for your employer. And then third, we're going to have some real fun. It's in Las Vegas, which is fun in and of itself, but we have embedded within the conference the awards gala for the Recruiting Service Innovation Awards. These are awards that we give away each year to the innovators and innovations in talent acquisition, the companies, the individuals, the products and services that are helping to optimize the recruiter's experience. And our awards gala is modeled after the Oscar ceremony, and it's the best party in the business. So it's a black tie and gown optional kind of affair. We have a red carpet. We really do it up right. And that's going to be part of the whole conference experience. So real information, real savings, and real fun at the TATech conference on September 19 to 21 in Las Vegas.
And Peter, it's only a rumor that Chris Rock is going to be emceeing. Is that correct? That's a rumor?
Well, we're still talking to Chris. If his schedule's available, we're going to see.
Okay, but none of us we shouldn't be counting on that for sure.
No, I wouldn't count. No.
Okay, if I can throw in a fourth benefit to that, and that is at one of the recent TATech meetings, we broke out into small groups. And I'm specifically remembering a conversation led by Chris Hoyt, who at the time was a senior leader in talent acquisition for PepsiCo, and now he's with Career Crossroads. But when he comes into a room where people like him, so the employers, the recruiting leaders that are going to be attending this conference, they have a powerful ability to shape what we as an industry do. And so we hear sometimes from our talent acquisition partners that they're frustrated about this, where they wish that their partners, their vendors could do that. When you're in a room and have 50 of your partners and potential partners, and you're saying, hey, we would give you business if you could do this for us, pretty quickly you're going to find out that your partners, whether it's a college recruiter or LinkedIn or whatever, are going to be doing that. So I think for the talent acquisition leaders that really want to have an influence on the industry and make us better for them, this is a great opportunity.
Okay. Thanks, Peter and Steven, for being with us today. This is great information. Hope everybody can join at the TATech Conference and Expo September 19th through 21st in Las Vegas, Nevada. Be sure to watch the next interview with College Recruiters CEO Faith Rothberg and Pete Weddle discussing her session. You can find these videos on College Recruiter's YouTube channel and on our blog at collegerecruiter.com, and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.